Good evening, afternoon, or morning. Movie Cat is at the microphone. Today I will tell you about another story where the students of an elite school play cruel games with each other. I bring to your attention the third film in the Cruel Intentions saga, Cruel Intentions 3. And in order not to lose this channel, I recommend you to subscribe. The young guy named Jason flies to Santa Barbara. Here is the elite prestige college, to the campus of which the guy needs to arrive for check-in in order to continue his studies. Jason walks out into the airport parking lot and sees his classmate, a beautiful girl, Cassidy, getting into her limousine. Jason is sure that they are on the same path and invites her to go together. Cassidy refuses, because if they get there together, then they will arrive together, and that means everybody will see them together. Accompanied by a servant, the girl arrives on campus and sees Jason again. They share their impressions of the past summer and await assignment to rooms. Together they notice a new student, a transfer from another college, Patrick Bates. The guy stoops a lot, plus coughs often and loudly. Taking one look at him, Cassidy audibly sympathizes with his future roommate. Meantime, Cassidy's father bought her separate apartments in the campus dormitory. Jason comes to his room and meets Patrick, a stooped guy who constantly coughs. Patrick promises that he won't cough at night because he constantly takes sleeping pills. In the evening, Jason talks to Cassidy and she reveals that she wants to start a relationship with English student Christopher. He is very rich and is also a descendant of the noble Lancaster family. Jason is jealous and doesn't hide it because he's been dreaming of sleeping with Cassidy for a long time, and he's terribly angry that he always stands at the end of the line behind guys like Christopher. Jason tells Cassidy that she is just as spoiled as her sister Catherine, but he is undeterred. On the contrary, he dreams of being her Sebastian. Cassidy replies that this is a bad example to follow because Sebastian died because of his love for his half-sister, and Catherine ended up in a drug treatment clinic after the death of her half-brother. After this, Cassidy leaves with Christopher. The next day, students enjoy the sunset together on a seashore. An inseparable couple, Michael and Shayla, talk about how they traveled together all summer. Modest girl Allison says she is only here to study hard and achieve the best results. No parties or boyfriends because her fiancé is waiting for her at home. Jason jokes that Patrick definitely came here to have fun and embarrassed. Stoop guy silently leaves. Cassidy tells Jason that Christopher is interested in her. She wants to get into high society through an affair with an Englishman, but Jason believes that Cassidy thinks too highly of herself. Jason offers a bet. He bets $10,000 that by the end of the week, Cassidy will not be able to sleep with Christopher. Jason then smirks and claims that she can't even seduce the stooped Patrick. Cassidy laughs and is sure that she can handle Patrick in an hour. Jason offers a second bet, another $10,000 and 48 hours to seduce Patrick. To win the bet, Cassidy must provide evidence. Cassidy immediately finds Patrick by the pool and admits that she started to like such guys like Patrick. Who exactly are such guys? Cassidy does not specify. Patrick is surprised and confused, but agrees to continue talking at Cassidy's place. In the apartment, Cassidy turns on the recorder and easily seduces the guy. An hour later, she plays the audio recording for Jason, wins the bet and takes $10,000. Later, she intends to win the second bet the same easy way. In the evening, Cassidy has dinner with Christopher in her apartment. They talk about his relatives, charity and equestrian sports. The dialogue smoothly turns romantic, but suddenly someone knocks on the door. Cassidy opens it and sees Patrick with a bouquet of flowers. She quickly tells Christopher that she doesn't know Patrick and doesn't know what he came for. Patrick states that he and Cassidy had sex here a few hours ago. Patrick knows that Cassidy has a recorder in her bag. He takes it out, turns on the recording, and Christopher quickly leaves, not wanting to listen to Cassidy's excuses. The girl gets angry at Patrick and asks if Jason accidentally sent him here to ruin her date. Suddenly Patrick's face changes. He straightens his back and admits that he invented and planned everything himself. Patrick was initially sure that someone like Cassidy would never even talk to him. That's why he persuaded Jason to make a double bet with Cassidy. Patrick loses $10,000 to sleep with Cassidy and then ruins her date with Christopher to get his $10,000 back. Patrick takes his 10,000 from Cassidy's bag and puts it in his pocket. Jason comes into the room and admits that he just wanted to teach the arrogant Cassidy a lesson in this way. The next day, Patrick meets a shy girl, Allison, at an art exhibition. Patrick no longer slouches or coughs, but his sudden recovery does not raise questions among his classmates. Patrick is trying to impress Allison because she is his new target. Since childhood, Allison has been dating a guy from her hometown, and their families have long been dreaming of their marriage, and recently Allison has agreed to marry her boyfriend. For Patrick, seducing such a girl is a real challenge. Jason also wants to seduce an occupied girl, so he confesses to Patrick that he wants Shayla, who is sunbathing with her boyfriend Michael. Suddenly Cassidy comes up to the guys and says that she doesn't hold a grudge against them because it's not their fault she lost. Cassidy wants to know which of them is the stronger player and offers them a bet. Whoever seduces their target first will win the room, and the loser will look for another place to live. In the evening, Jason glances at Shayla with interest, even in Michael's presence, and she sometimes glances back. Patrick and Allison are spending the evening nearby. The girl is glad for the attention, but she constantly remembers out loud about her engagement. Patrick thinks Allison just doesn't have enough sex. The next day, Jason learns that Shayla and Michael have signed up for a field trip to Carmel. A trip to this town allows to get credit for the subject, and the distance of the trip includes an overnight stay. Jason wants to go too, but the teacher says there are no more places. Then Jason finds Michael and Shayla by the pool and admits that he urgently needs to see his grandmother, who lives in Carmel, but there are no available places, and Jason asks the lovers to visit his grandmother instead of him. Michael only wanted to go there because of Shayla, but for the sake of a good cause and a weekend with his friends, the guy offers to give up his seat. Jason is delighted with the act, but will agree to accept help only if Shayla is okay with it. Shayla agrees and leaves with Michael. In the evening, Patrick comes to Allison's room and, unable to think of anything better, confesses his love. The girl is shocked and again reminds her of her engagement. Patrick says that he doesn't believe in Allison's feelings for her fiancé, otherwise she wouldn't want to leave for 4 years to study in another city. Allison gets angry and kicks Patrick out. The next day, Allison tells Cassidy about Patrick's words and how she is angry at him because he is right. She really doubts her feelings for her fiancé. She's not interested in Patrick as a boyfriend anyway, but she thinks that her engagement is scaring off other, more deserving guys. Cassidy retells all this information to Patrick, and he understands that he will not be able to seduce Allison in the usual direct way, which means he needs to change tactics. Before going to bed, Patrick comes to Allison, apologizes for his words and offers only friendship. The next day, Patrick confesses to Allison's friend how much Allison's future marriage really scared off guys. By listing the most popular and beautiful ones, Patrick wants to guess Allison's possible secret fantasy, and it works. Her friend secretly admits that Allison often talks about Brent Patterson. Meanwhile, during a tour of Carmel, there is a heavy rainfall, and Jason takes advantage of it. He suggests Wet Shayla move away from the group to warm up. Together they run into the empty church and Jason puts his jacket on trembling Shayla and then hugs her. Having warned the girl, Jason leaves, as it were, to visit his grandmother. Meanwhile, on campus, Brent Patterson finds Allison and sits down with her. In the evening, Jason returns to the hotel, as if from his grandmother, and invites Shayla to drink wine. He asks if Shayla likes to take risks. The girl doesn't mind if the reward is worth the risk. Then Jason suggests flipping a coin to bet the coin itself. Shayla guesses the side and wins the coin. Jason then suggests playing for something more serious, like a relationship. Shayla doesn't understand what kind of relationship she can have with Jason. Then he explains that he also does not know the answer. Perhaps they are friends, or, for example, a master and a slave. The winner chooses who will be the master and who will be the slave tonight. At the same time, Brent Patterson is walking with Allison along an empty beach at night. The girl is grateful for the dinner and flowers, but is a little confused by such sudden attention. Brent grabs Allison by the waist, but the girl removes his hand, switching to talking about the stars. Suddenly, Brent kisses Allison and pins her against a wooden support. Allison decides not to resist the urge anymore. Patrick watches them from a hiding place and takes pictures of everything. Meanwhile, Shayla denies Jason role play. She is in love with her boyfriend, Michael, and tries not to give in to temptation. Jason says he's not going to ruin Shayla's relationship. He's just offering to play it one time while Michael is away. Shayla is excited by the wrongness of it all and decides to flip a coin. Shayla wins again and unexpectedly chooses to play the slave. Suddenly Jason dials Michael's number and tells Shayla his wish. She must maintain a conversation with her boyfriend, no matter what is happening to her. Jason then hands her the phone and begins to caress her legs, gradually moving higher. Michael hears sighs and groans on the phone, so he constantly asks what is happening and if Shayla is feeling well. When the connection is interrupted, 3 minutes into the conversation and Shayla does not call back, astute Michael begins to suspect a treason. At the same time, Patrick comes to Allison and shows her the photos he took on the beach. He says that he had to pay Brent $500 because Brent did not agree to have sex with Allison for free. Patrick promises that he will send the photos to Allison's fiancé and her family if he doesn't get what he wants. When the girl finds out that what he wants is sex, she sobs and calls Patrick crazy. But she has nowhere to go and Patrick gets what he came for. In the morning, Jason meets Patrick and finds out how Patrick slept with Allison. Jason thinks blackmail and coercion are too much. He refuses to look at pictures of Patrick or have anything to do with him at all. Jason later realizes that he is in love with Cassidy and begins to devote more time to her. Together they go to the beach, play golf, and watch sunsets. One day at the beach, Cassidy tells Jason that she needs to meet Patrick this evening. They agreed on this dinner a long time ago, and now he insists on this meeting. Cassidy adds that she wants to use this dinner to get rid of Patrick. Evening comes, and Patrick declares that he wants to experience sex with Cassidy again. Only honestly and with pleasure. The girl refuses and leaves. The next day, Patrick meets Jason and proposes a bet on Cassidy. According to Patrick, it is logical that the rivalry should end with the best girl, because they are both in love with her. Jason refuses and wishes his neighbor good luck. In the evening, Patrick uses his standard tactics. He comes to Cassidy and confesses his love to her. For some reason, he thinks this should work. Cassidy does not believe that cruel and while Patrick is even capable of love. She says that now she doesn't know what's scarier in him, his appearance or his soul. Patrick responds to this by saying that if Cassidy had been ignored her entire life, she would also do terrible things in order to get attention. Cassidy says none of this matters. She is now dating Jason and their games are over. Patrick comes into Cassidy's room and admits that he bet on her with Jason and that her affair is a lie and a part of the plan. However, it was he, Patrick, who came first to admit this because he is more honest than Jason. Cassidy drinks a glass of wine and allows Patrick to kiss her. To make things more interesting, Cassidy suggests tying her hands to the bed, which Patrick gladly does. Later, Jason comes into Cassidy's room and sees Patrick there, smugly reveling in his victory. Patrick mocks them both because he outplayed them and destroyed their relationship. He doesn't believe in love and has proven to them that it doesn't exist. Now Patrick considers Jason and Cassidy to be his victims, who underestimated him. Patrick states that he has never been in the shoes of someone who lost, and Cassidy suddenly invites him to experience it. Cassidy says that she slipped his sleeping pills, which Jason had previously stolen, into her wine. The police may also be interested in torn clothes, cuts on the hands from a rope, and sperm samples. In addition, Allison will tell them her story. Cassidy tells him all this so that, together with Jason, they can enjoy the dumbfounded expression on Patrick's face. Cassidy adds that 20 minutes ago, Jason called the police. This time Patrick really lost, and for underestimating Cassidy and Jason, he will now go to prison and, as a result, vacate the room. Suddenly the police knock on the door and demand to open it. They arrest Patrick and also record statements from Cassidy and Allison. After some time, Cassidy tells Jason that the game is not over for her because she has not yet get Christopher, and she offers again a bet of $10,000. Jason is surprised because he believes in their feelings. Cassidy doesn't deny that she has feelings for Jason, but she also admits to her observation. When you sleep with someone as spoiled as yourself, the game of deception, manipulation and temptation loses its meaning. Jason understands what she's talking about and smiles. Then Cassidy takes Christopher's arm and leads him away. Thank you for watching. What do you think about the cruel games played by young people in elite educational institutions? Write in the comments. Also give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already.